morning. It's a million degrees out. It's so hot. We'll see how long I last. I do see the world is red. Do you want to see what it looks like? Hi, Tara. Hi, HP. Put these on you. Can you see? There you go. That's what everything looks like. Makes me happy. You guys, it is a million degrees outside. We're gonna see how long it lasts. Hi, HB. Hi. How are you? Also, I don't feel like finishing any of my existing pieces. I feel like starting another new page, and that's not good. Good morning, Tara. How you doing, girl? You know what I was thinking about this morning? And we don't have to talk about this today, but we can pose it for a topic. It's more about the science side of things, but I was thinking about music frequency and how there's different, audio frequencies that are supposed to have different effects on us. And I heard this thing that said, so 432 hertz is the God tone or something. It's supposed to be the tone that helps bring everything to equilibrium. And I guess music used to be in that tone. And now it's in the 440 tone, most popular music, and that tone is more likely to induce anxiety. And so I was thinking about, one, I want to look into this and see what's true and all of that kind of stuff, but also realizing that I'm wondering if there's something to be said versus no frequency versus frequency. For example, this morning I put on music when I was walking the dog, and it put me in a really good mood versus not listening to anything. But I don't know what hertz it was in. So perhaps it was in that 440, in which case it didn't induce anxiety. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Oh no, that's fine. My necklace stripped on my page. HB, I had a dream last night that I saw a few friends, and I got to hug one of my friends who lives long distance. Hey, Andy. And I in the dream, it was like a battle. It's probably because you're talking about music and all the music stuff yesterday. Hey, Kitty, how's your knee? But last night I dreamt that we were having like, it was kind of like a battle of the bands kind of setup. And it was all of my, like, it was a bunch of old musicians that I knew, including like this friend that I was thinking of. And he came up, like, past me on his skateboard, and like I jumped in front of him and gave him a big hug and wished him happy birthday. And this morning is his birthday, but I knew that. So I don't think that like the dream wasn't any, you know, it was already on my mind because I knew it was his birthday. But it was still a good dream. And he probably hasn't been on a skateboard since high school, and it was really funny that you were dreaming about the Battle of Bands. It was just like a weird dream. I can't wait to call him later to say happy birthday and tell him about this, but it was funny. It's recovering. Did the 5551, oh, Nicholas. Did the 551, oh my God, 55515, did that help, Kitty? Did it do anything? Oh goodness, Tara, that's a big one. Logical abilities of strenuous thought cannot entertain at what age? You did get me tongue twisted. Well, yeah, so I guess that's good, right, Kitty? If it made you fall asleep, it must have worked. Right? You can always do it again this morning. Hey, Chase. How are you guys doing in New Orleans? My dream was to help me with my stress. What do you mean? Like in what way? I did get a lot of editing yesterday completed, which is great. I'm really excited about that. I'm still, like, this video is long, and I've got a lot of B-roll in there, more than I've ever done, I think, so far. Which I think is going to make for a good video, but man, does it take a long time. But it was cool to, like, get more done, you know? Also, I got these sunglasses at a gas station in Hawaii in 2018, I think. And they're so scratched up, and I can't, I've done like the reverse image search. I'm trying to find the exact same pair, and I can't find them anywhere. And I think they were like $7, and I love these sunglasses so much, and I want more of them. Nicholas, you're gonna get tired again soon. I just realized I'm not wearing my wedding ring, but I am married. It's in the chat. Hi, Yassine. I do believe in aliens. I do. I don't know what's going on, but I believe something more is going on than what we've understood. What do you believe? Yeah, that's okay, Yassine. All are welcome here, but I am definitely a believer. And like I said, I don't know exactly what it is, right? Like, I don't know what I mean by alien. I just believe that there is definitely something more going on than what is like currently widely accepted. Haven't left Earth's atmosphere. You professional coloring artist, hey, said I can do Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. Also, whenever you see aliens, like the movies, would just be some insect lives on Mars. Okay, catching up. Yes, so I am not a professional coloring artist. No, I am coloring to keep my hands busy while I sit here and talk to you guys. I am a creative, but I'm not like my artistry talent is definitely not this kind of stuff. So all I'm doing is just coloring in a coloring book to keep myself occupied and kind of start my day slow, a little bit of creativity, listening to the birds, chatting with you guys. Hi, Lainey. Chevelle, what a name. Oh, thank you. We haven't left Earth's atmosphere. Yeah, everything is a psyop. What a name, also. The atmosphere thing, I actually looked into that a few weeks ago because I was trying to figure out what was going on with that, right? Because you have astronauts that have been on camera saying we haven't learned how to leave the atmosphere in a certain way or like get through this asteroid belt or something. I don't remember these specifics. And I remember being like, but we would have had to go to the moon. And so I was looking into it, and what I found was that it was kind of a semantic scenario where what they are trying to do with the current rockets that they're trying to break through the atmosphere is different from what we've done before. I'm butchering this so badly. But the point is that I because I am always skeptical of all of that kind of stuff, I looked into a bunch of it and kind of came around to realizing that the leaving the atmosphere thing, I don't necessarily, I think we have. I think that it's just, they're not communicating well and it's confusing people. But I don't know. I don't know any of it. No, he means with humans on it. I'm sure. Also, it's not just the atmosphere. There's like I can't remember what the asteroid belt is. Andy, you might know. I don't know. But there's like a specific layer that astronauts as of late have been talking about trying to get through and saying that we haven't gotten through it before. And everyone's like, what do you mean we haven't gotten through it before? But apparently it's different. Like, I wish, I'm butchering it. I shouldn't speak unless I know what I'm saying. I'm being completely honest. But I also, like, I'm not gonna, like, argue about any of it. We're just chatting. I like your code words, HB. I didn't know there was no Indian restaurant there. I don't go back, like, ever. I go back to see my grandma, like, twice a year. And I don't go out in public when I'm back home. Sorry, HB lives really close to where I grew up. Like, really close. Actually, funny enough, when HB and I first connected, I thought he was messing with me when he told me where he was. So funny. Van Allen belts. Thank you, Andy. I knew you could come in. Please don't ever leave me. The Van Allen belts. So yeah, what I was seeing had to do with the Van Allen radiation, the Van Allen belts, and I shouldn't speak unless I know what I'm talking about, but it had something to do with the semantics of like, we've been able to do one thing before, but what we're trying to do this time is a little different, and that's why they keep talking about it like we have never done it before, because we haven't in the way that they're trying to. Does that make any sense? Or am I just like talking gibberish? I was definitely sus. I was very suspicious. I really thought you were messing with me for like the first little bit, because what are the chances? You know what I mean? Also, I'm really glad that I made it out this morning, because I think today is the hottest day. And if I can do today, I should hopefully be able to be out here all week. I did not end up going out last night, which is also part of the reason why I'm here. I do have something Saturday night, and depending on how I feel Sunday, I guess could be a thing. It may not be on Sunday. US. Ad on my screen. I can't lift my marker. Yeah, Bobby Rex's. Thanks, Andy. Do you know what I'm talking about with the confusion about passing through versus not passing through? I just remember that, yeah, when I looked it up, it was very much semantics. And I was like, all right, I can give it that one. Because, again, I believe in all the weird stuff, but I also want to be extremely logical, and it can't all be true, right? So, using discernment and logic, was happy to come around to being like, okay, this one kind of makes sense in my head, at least. I'm not suspicious of their statement on it. Well, then what are they talking about, Andy? Like, it's not a problem if you're in the metal container. Then what are the current astronauts that are talking about not being able to get through it saying? Do you know? Oh my God, HB. You have to watch that, because people in that town know me and they don't know I'm doing this. You can't tell anybody. Oh, Havoc. Yeah, absolutely a little gay. You are not the first idiot to talk about Sharon Stone, sorry. HB, I am serious. You can tell anybody you want about this channel, except for people in my hometown that might know me. I'm gonna end up looking up this Van Allen thing. There was something I watched yesterday that was interesting. And I listened to. What was it? I don't know. Okay, this heat on the back of my neck. Too much. I'm like messing with you, but also you're gonna do that, and then it's gonna be some kid I went to high school with. And they don't know. Nobody knows that I do this. Barely anyone here knows that I do this. Hometown people definitely don't know. They're definitely gonna think I'm nuts. Yeah, they don't know you, but if you show them my channel and they go, oh, that's Sundown, that's okay. It'll be okay. It'll happen eventually. I want the channel to grow, and I don't actually care what they think, so it's fine. I'm more or less messing with you because I was shocked. I'm glad that you shared it. I really am. Also, that town has grown a lot, so the chances that I would actually know them is very slim. So I'm more or less giving you a hard time. Okay, Andy. No, that's a fair point. Let me see if I can re-articulate. Bubby, I know it's hot out here. You don't want to be out here, do you? Like I said, this is why I shouldn't speak unless I know what I'm talking about. Hold on, that dog does not want to be out here. Hold on, bud. Just a second. I'm going to see if there's coffee yet. Okay. No coffee, but coconut water. Even better. Okay. Let's talk semantics. Let me see if I can figure out what I was talking about or what I found. All right, let's see. Oh my gosh, this is so, okay, I got this sun. Okay, this is what I got. NASA engineer in 2014 on the Orion test flight video said, we must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space, referring to the Van Allen radiation belts. The conspiracy theorists took this to mean that we've never gone through them. But in context, what he means is that we have not done it with Orion yet. That was the semantics. So they were saying, like, we have to fix this in order to get through the Van Allen belts. And conspiracy theorists are like, wait, you said you already went through them. What are you talking about? And what he meant was, we have to figure these out before we can get this particular ship through. Does that make sense now? That's what I was thinking of. That may not make sense either, but that's what I was thinking of. Hi, Matt King. Hey, Trey. You didn't say which one. You were being vague. Oh, God, how do I get out of the sun? Is that better? Andy, did that make any sense? Like, that's what I was thinking of, was like the semantics of saying, like, oh no, we've gone through the Van Allen belt, the ship just hasn't. It was just the way that this astronaut had said it that confused everyone. Edna Mode, I know, with all my other glasses. I love this stuff so much. Someday, Vita Coco, you're going to sponsor me. Please. Are you going to tell us which one now? Hey, GI. Yeah, there were worries, but we did it, and it was just the newer astronaut that I think, I didn't say anything about Gotham, Mad King. Oh, you did say that, Trey, that's right, because we were talking about Lost Boys, that's right, and you have the gold hook instead of the silver hook, I remember. Yeah, Mad King, I didn't say anything about Gotham. Gotham is my address on the internet. I know it is. I'm just saying, like, I didn't say anything just now to it. It's Gotham because I'm not putting my actual location. It's been Gotham, I think, since I got on the internet in 2011. I've always done that. Batman was my favorite superhero of the superheroes, but I'm not, like, a huge superhero geek, so any kind of quiz on Gotham, I'm not going to win. I'm sorry. Transylvania, yeah. Yeah, I like Batman a lot. I always liked Batman because he didn't actually have any superpowers. That was my favorite thing about him. He wasn't super, he was a man who became so much more. Thanks, man. Bring on your question. In HB, which actor? Christian Bale was the best to portray. I did really like Christian Bale as Batman. The series Gotham, I think I watched a season or two, but I don't think I definitely didn't get through the whole thing. I liked it. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Thanks for not being offended that I have Gotham in my profile and I'm not I'm not. Some diehard fans would be offended that I would put Gotham in my profile, and not be like a diehard know everything fan. So I appreciate your respect. It was very kind. Mayor of Kingstown? That makes me think of Bob Marley. That's not what you're talking about, though. What are you talking about? While you're in the sun. Let's see. Up. Whee! Still in the sun, still in the sun, still in the sun. Hi. How can I get you? Are you serious, kids? I want to move you to the smoker, but is that in the sun? I think we're okay. Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate it. Michael Keaton was great. I did like Michael Keaton also. I think I told you guys I put these Chinese ear seeds in a couple days ago. I really think they are working. One of them is kind of like just started, it didn't start hurting, but I became aware of one of them all of a sudden, and it's the parasympathetic one, and it's probably because I'm in this heat. It's really interesting. No, I did not see that Michael Keaton's got a new movie. What is it? Also, has anyone ever tried these ear seeds? Or like, is anyone else into like acupressure or acupuncture? I'm really kind of blown away right now. Oh, I didn't see the flash. So, my experience with acupuncture has been very for real. I first did it, this has been several years ago now. It's one of those things that, in my experience, it's not like one session of acupuncture will do anything. Like, it's something that does take repetition and continued work, I guess. But I did actually see results, and these ear seeds are acupressure. I also have other forms of like I have an acupressure mat, and I have definitely noticed big differences with that. But I guess it kind of makes sense when you actually look at traditional Chinese medicine and the body as a system and where all of these points connect to. It's wild, but it's really interesting. Are you in the sun, or is the sun just in your eyes? I can't tell. But I really like it a lot. And it's been like 2.5 days with these little ear seeds, and I don't know, I'm feeling good. And if it is a placebo, not acupuncture, but the ear seeds, I'm okay with it because they were cheap, and if they work even as placebo, then they work. But I don't know. In acupuncture, I don't know that there are any real-time, I don't know. I'm not a specialist on this, but it is, at least the ear seeds, it's not only a nervous system thing, but it can also be a physiological thing. Well, I guess the nervous system is also that, but you can target the nervous system, but you can also target different organs in your body using reflexology in your feet and also acupuncture in your ears. Hey, gaming. And it's really interesting. It's very interesting. I wish I was more well versed on it. But the ear seeds, do work right away. So I put them on before bed 2 nights ago. And when you put them on, like you find the acupuncture point, you stimulate it, and then you apply the ear seed. And then throughout the day, you just press or like rub to kind of activate that point again 2-3 times throughout the day. And it will like give you a burst of relief in whatever it is. So I have 2 for my back or for my neck, 1 on each side. I have 2 for my parasympathetic nervous system on the inside, and then I have 2 in this place I think called the shaman. I'm not sure, and that is more of an overall balanced chi thing. But just throughout the day, like I just kind of rub on them a little bit here and there, and I don't know, it's doing something. Well, then reflexology might not be the word that I need. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but there are pressure points in your feet in the same way that there are pressure points in your ear that are connected to different parts of your body in traditional Chinese medicine, not in everything. I am just coloring a coloring book, and yes, our little Wednesday girl is in it. She's at like a pumpkin patch. Are you okay? I think the sun is in your eyes, but I don't think you are in the sun, if that somehow makes sense. Can you see? It's just a little coloring book. My girlfriend got me this book. I can't tell. Hi, from India. That is cool. Yeah, like I'm totally not an expert. I'm not the one to ask. I'm definitely speaking out of left field, and I just woke up. Just based on the limited understanding I have, it has to do with pressure points that activate different things in your body. And so far, even if it's, like I said, even if it's just a placebo, if I'm getting relief, I'm okay with that, you know? I think they were $7. And I have like 1,000 of them, so they'll last me well over a year. I was like, I'll try it. They're gonna do another Beetlejuice? They just redid it. They don't need to do another one. Why do they keep redoing all of these movies? That's okay. Take the tea. Guys, I'm so excited. That's also like me being out here right now in this heat and humidity. 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this, but today I am. And the only thing that I can think of that is different, I mean, I've been doing a lot of parasympathetic nervous system regulation and a lot of, I think it's pronounced vagus nerve work this week, but also the ear seeds are part of that. And I don't know if they're helping me regulate, but oh, that's funny, Trey. I don't know, it like bums me out. Beetlejuice, the original was so good, and the new one wasn't bad, but like, we don't need to keep doing it, you know? Let's come up with new classics. Let's have new, you know, I don't know. But they did do it justice, which was nice. Like, there was still a lot of the classic Tim Burton Beetlejuice, like claymation weirdo stuff in there that I was worried that they would lose in the modern day, and I'm glad they didn't. Thanks, Maggie. Just chilling. Yeah, Tim Burton has produced so much. His work. I used to be a really, really big Burton fan. It's not that I'm not now. I guess I haven't been watching as much lately. But yeah, I used to always really, really love Timber and stuff. Which is funny, you know what's, like, just speaking of kind of like the creepy weird stuff, one TV show, cartoon, kit, whatever, one thing that I personally have a really big problem with is Pee Wee Herman. To each their own, I don't know if I just saw him too young as a kid, but that dude freaked me out so bad. Still does. Still the idea, if it's on TV, I get so uncomfortable. That's just the funniest. It's so dumb. It's just a character, but like, I have a visceral reaction to seeing or hearing that man. It's so funny. I actually haven't seen the box films. Okay, Andy. Yeah, Pee-wee was weird. All right, Andy, what did you... Okay, so back to the Baltic Sea and then. Was that them talking about how they went down there and discovered stuff they can't tell us yet? Or did it say, have you seen the video yet? Or did you just find it? Sorry, anyone who's not keeping up, Andy and I are talking about the Baltic Sea anomaly, which is like that thing that looks like a Millennium Falcon at the bottom of the Baltic Sea that is really weird. I'm by sirens. This is why I say I live in Gotham. Just to be clear. Cheech and Chong. City stuff. Yeah. Did I color that with the wrong color? Oh my god, I'm such a dumbass. Don't Gotham you. You're right. Sorry, I'll stop bringing it up. Just saying. Say Gotham because I'm a city girl. Yeah, I think maybe Soul Foundation is kind of where I was getting, maybe that's where I first heard the rumor about it too. Oh, hey. Hi. You gonna hang out? It's hot out here. All good, Mad King. That's what I'm on here for. Yeah, also ADHD welcome. Interesting, Andy. I can't wait to hear more about what you think. This dog does not want to be out here. He tells my husband he wants out, so he lets him out. And then he turns around and goes back and begs at the door for me to open it. I know you just want the door open, but it's 1,000,000 degrees, Bugs. The AC is not on right now, it's just the fan. Okay. Dog does not want to be out here. He thinks he wants to be out here. Yeah, it's too hot. Awesome, Andy. And we'll grab that now. Thank you. I did yesterday all I did. Hey, Baseman. Is it Bass Man? I was saying bass like it's an E at the end. I don't even have coffee because it's too hot. I just had the coconut water today. Okay, so the Baltic Sea anomaly. If you look it up and you look at images, the first thing you're going to see are all these like shitty AI renderings. Don't believe those. Obviously you wouldn't, but don't think that we believe those either. We don't. We know better. I know that those aren't real. There are actual radar images that were released. If you just Google Baltic Sea anomaly, you'll find the radar images, or the sonar images, you can find them. But I think it was like 2011 or 2014, maybe. I might be making those dates up. I might be getting confused now with the Van Allen belt, but somewhere around there, these divers, researchers, whatever, they came across this anomaly, and when they did like a rendering of what they thought it looked like based on the sonar, it looks like the Millennium Falcon. And there's like a huge skid mark in the sand at the base of the sea that looks like whatever this thing is crash landed and like drug along the bottom of the sea. But common science right now thinks that it is natural. Something I saw like yesterday or 2 days ago is that they think that like an ice or a glacier carried it over. So I don't know. But like when you look at the shape of this thing, it just doesn't seem natural. And so like the first thing I thought was like, okay, maybe it's a comet or an asteroid because of like the way that it looks like it hit the water and went in. But the shape just doesn't make sense. And then they went down and they sampled pieces of it. And they found, so they looked at the matter that covered it. They found different things the first time they did it. It does look like a spaceship. They found organic materials the first time that they were like studying the material. Like they went down and grabbed, I also don't know how that worked, right? Like, did they send a little robot down that grabbed material and scooped it up and brought it up? Because if they sent a human down, surely we could have gotten images of whatever this thing was, right? I don't really know, but it's, the thing itself is worth looking at because it's just really odd looking. And something is going on in Sweden right now where they've done something has happened with this, and there is information about this that they have now that has not come out publicly, basically. Yeah, like, could it just be a rock? Who knows? But like, it's just shaped really weird. I don't know, but I feel like the researchers that have been doing this the whole time, I believe, are Swedish. Let's see. Baltic Sea, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Germany, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Russia, and Sweden. It's a shared resource of a body of water for these nations, rather than belonging to any one country. And I'm pretty sure that the anomaly discoveries have all been by a Swedish team. It's just really interesting, isn't it? Go, King, I don't know if you're on your computer, but if you're able to like flip to a new tab and just like look at that thing real quick and hop back, it's worth, like, it's wild. It's really interesting. I will say, I could never keep up with those YouTubers that are constantly updating, like, with current information, like breaking news, all that. Like, couldn't be me. I don't have the stamina for that. But these morning lives, getting to just like kind of chat through things as they're appearing, is a really nice way to do this. You know what I mean? Like, it's another way for me to be able to talk current events with you guys with the understanding that, like, I don't have all the answers, but it's interesting. Yeah, I'm fascinated. fascinated by the Baltic Sea anomaly. I always have been, and so I got really excited when they started talking about it again. Yeah, I love all of this crazy stuff. I think it's so interesting. I did watch, that's what I did. I watched a YouTube video yesterday. I don't know how I felt about it. I can't remember who it was. I can look it up if you guys need me to. But it was a guy who said he met a NASA engineer who claims to not be from Earth. It was a wild video. But that Above Majestic, yes. Above Majestic, we used alien tech to send submarines out into the solar. What? We didn't send submarines into the solar system in the 50s. What? I mean, maybe that's a different word, but I still need to watch Above Majestic. That's the one that I really need to do. Yeah, Above Majestic needs to happen. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yesterday, I edited for so long. So long. Because I was able to get through the video in one take, which was amazing, it's the B-roll that's like taking me so long. And I know I don't have to do a bunch of B-roll, but like, damn. Ketchup. What? HB? That is an interesting concept, Mad King. It sounds kind of like, what's that movie? That anarchy movie where everyone's allowed to commit crime for a day. That's what it reminds me of. I got you. Yeah, and I appreciate that because I don't really go into politics too much here, but, Purge, thank you. That's what I was thinking of. That's what it sounds like. Both of my clients right now, I'm waiting on them to give me stuff, so I had the time to edit yesterday. But presuming that at least one of them is going to get back to me with the stuff I need today, I am going to have actual work I need to be doing. Oh, gosh, I haven't seen Pulp Fiction in such a long time. No, not Chicago. Punchlines compared to the acupuncture and feng shui. Shui was close, but feng was right. Shui is, I don't even know. I know that's not it, but I don't know either, so I'm not any better than you on that spelling. HB, a lot of people say Hitler had spacecraft technology. A lot of people. The bell-shaped UFO, wasn't that supposed to be a Hitler thing? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? How the F? That looks right. I've always heard that Germany, like Hitler's regime, had alien tech. There's like a whole documentary about a specific craft, not above Majestic, like another, there's something else. I feel like I've seen that a lot. You know who fascinates me, just speaking of like tech and historical figures, is Tesla. I am a Tesla girl. I am so fascinated by Nikola Tesla. It's a shame that he was taken from us. Because that man is phenomenal. So interesting. And, yeah, the conspiracies around him are just, woof. Oh, I don't know who that is, Maria. Definitely Tesla. Well, or I mean, definitely like Tesla, not Tesla. I don't want to say that other name. Nikola. Yeah, he's so interesting, and like, I don't know. It's just a shame. I think that he was so close to potentially bringing us free energy, and I think that would have changed the trajectory of this planet. And I mean, honestly, when that weird stuff was coming out of Egypt about like this, or the radar things that they were doing under the pyramids or whatever, I wanted to believe. I mean, who knows what's going on there, but I really wanted to believe, because the way that they were describing it reminded me of the Tesla coils and his work in free energy, and I was like, maybe we'll figure it out. But you know, we all know how that's going right now. Interesting take on Tesla. I mean, he was a genius, and he didn't want to make money. It's why, yeah, he tried to, there was something that, I'm going to butcher this too. It's not, I want to say it's General Electric, but it wasn't General Electric. Somebody bought him out or fought him out for a patent on something that Tesla wanted to provide free, a source of energy, or it was a light source or something, I don't remember what. And because they couldn't make money off of it, they shut it down. And like we see that time and time again when you look up anything to do with Tesla. It's just really interesting. Yeah, I mean, except instead of using him, they just got rid of him, so that he wouldn't release the information on his own. Reminds me of like the Boeing whistleblowers that just disappeared. Like, they just do that, and people just move on. Yeah, there's, Tesla really did, he was one of the good ones, I think. I mean, obviously I didn't know the guy, but I think he was one of the good ones. He was a genius, and he seemed to really have good intentions with everything that he was working on. Like, he really did just seem to want to help humanity. And I don't know, I think things would have been a lot different had they let him. Westinghouse? What is that? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to copy that again. That was me copying the title Andy told us about. Thanks, HB. I was just going to do that FAQ again. My name is Sundown, Mad King. You can call me that. Or you can call me Adult Coloring Book Friend. That works too. I told you. This is why I didn't want you to get offended by me calling it Gotham. I'm a city girl. Busy this morning, huh? Whatever, Emily. You know what? One of my best friends is named Emily, and she's gonna laugh when I tell her that this is started. King, I understand why Sundown gives you pause. When I learned the history of the word sundown, I completely understand, and I do not blame you at all for being uncomfortable with the word. It is my real name, so upon growing up with it and coming to learning the history of sundown towns, learning the history of all of that, I completely respect it. Please know that it's not a chosen name, in that I'm ignorant of the history behind it. It really is my name, and I actually am I'm always a minority in most of the neighborhoods I live in, and thankfully my neighbors have all come around. It is my real name. Yep, and it really is God-given. But it's true. It's True Chad Coffee. What a name. But it is true, Sundown has a really weary history in the Black community, and especially in the US, right? And I think that it has been very important to me that people understand that I have complete respect for people's history with that, and that it's not their fault that it's my name, just as it's not mine. But if someone is uncomfortable with it, actually uncomfortable with it, by all means, I really do understand. And yeah, it was so surprising as a kid, being oh, there's a whole other use of this word for another population that I'm not a part of. It was really wild to figure out, but it is really important to me that people feel comfortable in knowing that I understand if they're not comfortable. And no one said that online yet, so it's a good opportunity to talk about it for a second, because it is important. Oh, well, if you aren't, that's interesting that you're being sarcastic, because I have gotten shit about it in real life, because people do think that it's a chosen name, and then they're do you not know what a sundown town is? Do you not know what this means? And so I've had to make sure I'm very aware of it, because I don't know, I do try to be sensitive to that. And there's also other things sundown syndrome. That's it's kind of Alzheimer's. That's awful. You call it sundowning. It's heartbreaking. But there's also really cool things, right? There's a ski lodge called Sundown in Colorado, I think. And there's bars and saloons and mountains and all sorts of cool things named Sundown too. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, King. I mean, I think it's important, right? If it's my name, you gotta stand on it. I gotta be able to say my name with my full chest and back up who I am as like a person being called that, you know? I think it's important. You have to be educated on those kinds of things, or like life would be a lot harder for me if I walked around ignorant to like what the name means in some areas, you know? Jack. Thank you. It wasn't that obscure though, and it wasn't that long in the past, right? Like I have neighbors that are old enough to have survived life with sundown towns as part of their zeitgeist. Like it wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't, especially not in America. So, yeah, you can still open. So it's one of those things that like as long as I'm still meeting living people who have been harmed by that word, by the word sundown, like I want to be respectful to their experience, you know? I don't think of it as immaturity, and yeah, it's definitely not obscure. It really wasn't that long ago. Yeah, exactly. Like Holocaust is obviously, it's not like, I don't know that, I mean, I guess I don't know if they're comparable because I'm neither Jewish nor black, but in theory, yes, like it's that idea, right? It's assigning a painful word as a name to somebody when there are people who are still living that experienced that, right? Thankfully, I've had no problems because again, like you said, like I worked very hard to understand it and to be able to speak to it, and anybody who's regularly in the chat knows that like I am huge on being a good neighbor. Like it is one of the most important things to me is being a good neighbor. And my neighbors and my neighborhood and my people, like it just means so much to me, and like they are my neighbors that have experienced this, right? So I don't know. I don't have a problem. Yeah. Exactly, HP. And so it's like, yeah, it's one of those things. I don't think of it as immaturity. I think of it as like these people had a lived experience that I know nothing about, and I want to be respectful of that, you know? I said this yesterday when I was giving cans to my neighbor. I told you guys that as a neighbor that for a long time wouldn't even make eye contact with me. And just in the last year, he kind of waves. And yesterday I gave him cans and I didn't realize it was him until I got down there. And now, like, he's smiled at me the last 2 days. And this man is probably almost 80 years old. And he's an old black man. And the shit he has seen, I have never once blamed him for not being extra warm to me in the first few years of living here. And all I've done is just make sure that I continue to try and show him that I'm a good neighbor and that I, am not representative of the things he's experienced, and it's worked. And I think that's fine. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Well, I think the biggest thing that happens is that they don't realize it's my real name. And they think if it's a chosen name, if you are choosing a name, you should know the information around it. I agree with that. And I think most people think I'm choosing it. So they think the response is, you chose that? Do you not know? And so then when I'm like, it's not chosen, most people are like, oh, okay. No, like if you didn't choose it, then nobody's ever blamed me for my name in that, like knowing that I've chosen it. I think people are just alarmed sometimes and they think that it's chosen because it's an odd name. And then they think, well, if you chose it, do you not know? And I think that makes sense, It's an apartment building. Yeah, it's an apartment building. There's multiple flats. It's okay. I think that, it's... Checking the temperature. Yeah, no, I think it's okay. Like I said, I really appreciate it, Chad. And honestly, it is. It's a beautiful name and it is a beautiful event, but it also has history, right? And like I said, I think the biggest thing is just, oh, no fighting. There's no need for that. I think the biggest thing is just realizing that it's the chosen versus not chosen, right? If you're going to choose a name, I think it's important to know all aspects about it. But if it's not chosen, then you can't blame someone for their not chosen name. And thankfully, I've never really had any issues. The only time I've ever had issues are when people initially think it's chosen. And then once I tell them, issue's over. So, it's not really a thing. But I appreciate, like, the conversation of it. I mean, you both are saying the same thing, which is that I don't have anything to be ashamed of and shouldn't be treated poorly for my name, which is kind, and I agree, and thank you. But I think it's just the context of one person saying it's okay to be caught off guard by someone's name and someone else saying it's not. And I think it's okay based on people's experiences. And I'm the one with the name, right? And I'm the one that's having these conversations with people every time I meet them. I love my name. I love it, love it, love it. I can't imagine not being Sundown. But it does mean that there were things I learned. Oh, yeah, actually, people have asked if I'm in Bali a couple times. I've gotten that one a few times. I feel like I run my house like an Asian house, but according to my girlfriends, one of my best friends is Chinese and one of my best friends is Filipino. My other best friend is Canadian. I'm gonna go check on coffee real quick. I'll be right back, friends. Everybody play nice. Oh, nope, I'm not back. You're gonna go back inside in 10 seconds, dude. Alright, what are we talking about now? Oh, it doesn't really matter, it's back. Come around sundown. Oh, Kings of Leon, yeah. Man, there's been a lot of songs. So, Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot was the first song that I knew of. And then someone redid it. And there's there's several things. There's currently an AI band called Velvet Sundowns. Makes me sad. HB is talking about an inside joke about where I grew up. I take my coffee. Are you going to stay out here for a little bit? Okay. I take my coffee with cream. It is finished in there, but I'm realizing it's too hot, and I'm going to just drink it when I get inside now. Because I'm going to go in. I've only got 15 minutes left, guys. Also, thanks for shouting out the deep dives, HB. Yeah, if you guys aren't liked and subbed, I'd love to have you. I am on here most mornings, but I do long-form content about science and spirituality. And I am just now finishing my first kind of series, 10-part series, and then we're going to be moving on to other topics, but I'm really excited. Bay Area, New York type. Yes. You're right in that I am the type. I used to live in New York. Oh, thanks, Chad. That's why I do this. The entire point of these lives is peace. But I've been here for 75 minutes. I usually don't do more than an hour and a half. Oh, hey, Keith. Just talking about how I gotta go. I got 15 minutes left. But yeah, I usually don't do more than like an hour and a half most. And I can't believe I'm even doing this long since it is this hot outside. But I will be going inside when we are finished. Yeah, it's both. This is my rug dog, Montgomery, or Monty. Oh, thanks, Keith. I'm glad you came by. Yeah, King, this is what we do. We get on chat. Now, usually I'm talking about, we're not usually talking about TV shows or anything. Oh, I'm just coloring in a coloring book to keep my hands busy. We're usually not talking about, like, TV shows like we were, but it's usually just things to do with science, spirituality, wellness, usually current events going on in like the UAP space, consciousness studies. Oh, I know what happened yesterday, guys. I was watching a video, A is done. I was watching a video that had to do with simulation theory. And I had this thought about how, hold on. Go ahead. Okay, so anybody who's new here has not heard this, but anybody who's not new here, I am not shut up about this. I like to give my subconscious something to do before I go to sleep, like homework to work on while I'm sleeping. And I was watching this video on simulation theory yesterday when I was like doing chores or something. And I had this thought of me laying in bed and talking to my subconscious about whatever it is I wanted to work on. And how, if it's a simulation, that essentially all I'm doing is like asking the player to like go into the settings while I'm charging at night, right? And like adjust some things. And it just made me laugh so hard thinking of it as like charging. And if it's a simulation and I'm talking to my subconscious before I go to bed, am I just talking to the player? And also, if it's oneness, if we're all one consciousness and consciousness is fundamental instead of a byproduct of biology, then I get really lost because what? Did that follow? Anybody follow that line of thinking of where my head just went? I think I broke my own brain. But it was a really funny thought at the time, and it just made me laugh thinking about, yeah. I don't know. He's not a chow. Did you think he was a chow? Oh no, Mad King's getting a chow. Well, not necessarily, King. Wait, you started writing when your best friend was in the Navy and was diagnosed with cancer. HB, what? Well, I'm not saying that this is true or not. I'm saying that there's a theory of foundational consciousness, right? So right now, the like Newtonian science, Plutonian science, both, I guess, believe that consciousness is a byproduct of biology. Like it's physics, chemistry, whatever. It's biology, and then they think consciousness arises out of biology. But there's a theory that's gaining more traction of foundational consciousness, where consciousness is the foundation of reality and everything is built up from there. And that's basically based off of the observer effect, right? The observer effect teaches us that unless something is being observed, it doesn't take shape, which is the double slit experiment, which is why this theory is gaining traction. So if that theory were true and consciousness was foundational, this is where I get tripped up in my interpretation, is the oneness aspect. I said this in one of my other videos, that if reincarnation were real, and we're not conscious of those other incarnations, but time isn't linear, so potentially they're all happening all at once. If I'm not conscious of my incarnation, just as I'm not conscious of your experience walking past me on the street, how do I know the difference between you and my incarnation? Maybe you are me, maybe I am you. The difference that we experience is the dissociative boundary. It's that boundary that separates us individually, which makes us realize I am me and you are you. It's why I can't perceive your perception of me. But there's this thought that if conscious is foundational and it's one, then all of our consciousnesses are arising out of this one fundamental thing, and what creates the individuality is the dissociative boundary. Does that make any sense? I haven't had coffee yet. Oh, I see, it wasn't cut up. No air show yet. Things doesn't really matter. Coffee, I haven't had any coffee yet. Yeah, so like it's one of those things, I'm still learning about this, so I'm definitely not like the appropriate teacher, but it's just, these are the things I think about all day. These are the things that I'm consciously like running on my hamster wheel, being like, I wonder if, or what does this mean? It's just an interesting theory or thought, and it does, if anything, it makes me think about the way that people treat each other, because if it is one consciousness, then the way you treat anyone else, you're just treating yourself that way. And in a sense, that's kind of karma, right? Because whatever you do comes back to you. Like, they all kind of seem relative. Learn about theory by reading, studying, experimenting when you can. I like to play with the theory of memory in water and do home experiments. And that's how I learn. That's okay. And that's fine. Yeah, no, the channel is totally okay to have differences in thoughts. Like I said, I'm not even saying it's true. I'm just explaining the theory. And just one of them that I've been chewing on, I guess, and learning more about. It does sound like a scene from Inception. Yeah, King's not going to know what to do with you, HB. All right. Oh my gosh, I only have 6 minutes. This actually flew by, guys. I didn't get very far on my picture at all. Precognition. Really? Doesn't really matter. That's exciting. I have to leave because it's been almost 90 minutes and I have to go to do work that pays me. This is unfortunately still a hobby. But I have to actually go work. Also, I need to go inside because it's hot. And I need to regulate my body temperature. You know, I say it all the time when I'm sitting here that I could sit here all day and do this, because I really do enjoy just doing art and chit-chatting with you guys. But I got bills to pay. Don't we all? It has been interesting, Andy. I need to watch Minority Report again too. I haven't watched that in years. I'm on here most mornings. Usually about 5 times a week, sometimes 6 times a week. I usually take a day off, somewhere in there. Right? But this has been really fun. I'm really glad everyone hung out. Yesterday was pretty busy too. And Andy, I'm going to check out that video you mentioned. I'm so interested in what's going on with the Baltic Sea anomaly. I can't wait to find out more. And yeah. Yeah, thanks HB. Like and sub, guys. I'm not good at saying that. I really appreciate it, HB. Tomorrow's Friday, so I'll probably be on. Fridays seem to be a really good day, too. And I think the temperature is supposed to get better. So as long as it's not raining, I should be on tomorrow. Just be nice. No infighting, everyone. Oh, thanks, Chad. Yeah, also, yeah, HB, if you don't interpret his messages correctly, please know he's not antagonistic. Intentions are pure. Okay. All right, friends. Time to go, kids. Yeah, but I'm not hosting these morning chats for debate. Not that we can't have disagreements or like not agree, but I'm not hosting town halls. I'm out here to have a peaceful morning myself, and I want everybody else to also, even if it's not morning for them. So the concept is that we come out here and we all have a breath of fresh air and go into the next phase of our day better than when we started here, as opposed to worked up because we were debating things, if that makes sense. So I love to talk about things, and we don't all have to agree, but I'm definitely not hosting town halls. Yeah. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. I'm like, we can have conversation, but we don't do debates because that will drain my energy, and I am not going to do anything that's not fun, isn't a good start to my day. So, all right, kids. Well, that gave up. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Bye, guys. Stay cool out there, okay?